So in this video, I'm going to go over a lot of the equipment in this packet. You will get this packet on the first day of school. You are going to be required to know every single piece of lab equipment, and this will be on your test on Wednesday of next week. So going through this, I'm going to make this video to try to help explain what is certain lab equipment and what it does. So starting off with the Bunsen burner, you guys should all know the Bunsen burner. I think you guys have time with it in prior courses, but Bunsen burners, most time when you turn them on, will be at this, like this. You need to close it down so it is more of a controlled flame, preferably short and blue like this. To light this, you're going to use a flint lighter. Okay, so this is the old one, which we'll have in the old school, or the school we're starting in. When we move to the new school, we will get ones that look like this. If you see, they spark very, very easily. So this is what we're going to be using this year for the flint lighters. Moving on from the Bunsen burner, we're going to get to something that hopefully everybody knows. This is a beaker. They come in 50, they come in 100, they come in 150, they come in 250, they come in 400, 600, 1,000 milliliter. All of them may be used at some point during the class. Most of the time, you're probably using a 250 down to a 50 milliliter, depending on what lab it is. These are your beaker tongs. You can see that they're shaped very, very well to just go around and pick up. That is why they're the beaker tongs, because they're used to pick up beakers. Right? Very easy. If you go on over to the next pair of tongs, these are the crucible tongs or dish tongs. You can see they are not built to pick up beaker. That is not very stable. It falls as soon as I try to pick it up. Right? So do not pick up your beakers or any other glassware with your crucible tongs. Okay? If you go over here, and we'll get to these later, this is a crucible and evaporation disc. These are what you'd be picking up with. This is the evaporation disc. Very easy. Okay? Crucible's not going to have its lid on it. Same thing. Works very well to pick up. So if you're going to pick up crucibles or evaporating discs, any ceramic tile or ceramic type stuff, use the crucible tongs, not the beaker tongs. Okay, next piece, test tube. Again, we're going to be using a lot of these. So if there's a test tube, specifically a hot test tube, because we're going to heat them, use beaker clamps. Not beaker, sorry. Test tube holders. Okay. They pick it up. They squeeze on each side. Therefore, you don't have to touch the hot glass. Hey, side note, do not take a piece of glass that's hot and stick it under cold water. Or don't take a cold piece of glass and put it onto a fire. It will break. I promise you it will break. Next piece of glassware. Erlenmeyer flask. Okay. Again, these come in all kinds of different sizes. 50, 100, 125, 250, so on and so forth. They come in different sizes. And there's some in the back. Right? They get bigger. Okay. Next piece. Bubble flask. Okay. Erlenmeyer flask on the left. Bubble flask on the right. You can tell. Bubble. Looks like a bubble. Okay. Next piece, which you're going to use a lot of, is a graduated cylinder. Okay. Anytime you are measuring anything out, use a graduated cylinder. Okay, we're going to measure water. Turn it on. Okay. Sort of fast, but Always go down, okay? When you do this, you're going to measure to the bottom of the meniscus. So, on this, okay? Bottom of the meniscus means the bottom of the, there's like a little U shape. You can't really see it, but you measure the bottom of the U, okay? After your graduated cylinder, we'll move over here, okay? This looks like an Erlenmeyer flask, but it's used for a vacuum, okay? So this is a vacuum flask, okay? So you put a hose on here, it goes to a vacuum pump. You turn the vacuum pump on, it'll suck whatever is up top down and in. So with that, use a Buchner funnel. Buchner funnels are different than regular funnels. You can see all the little divots in there, little dots. Those are little porous holes. You set that on top, push it down. When you turn the vacuum pump on, it'll suck this down tight, suck everything out. Then you start pouring in whatever on top of a filter flask or filter piece of paper. Okay? Filter piece of paper goes up here, goes down on. It'll pull all the moisture through, leaving your solids up top. So it'll separate your solids from your liquids in a mixture. Okay? Over here, we got something that looks very similar to our bubble flask earlier, but this is a volumetric flask. Okay? So you know it's a volumetric flask because of this little line that's up here on the top. You can see white line right here. That'll tell you the volume of this is 1,000 milliliters. Knowing that's 1,000 milliliters, this is not a good measurement tool because it doesn't measure everything. It just measures at 1,000 milliliters. After this, we have a regular funnel. Okay? Anytime you're trying to funnel anything out of something, you put a filter piece of paper up there, you pour it on there, and it filters these liquids. Okay? These are very good at getting liquids and liquids apart. Not part, but liquids to another container. These are very good at separating liquids from solids. Buchner funnel. Okay? The next thing we have is a bunch of different things. So, this first thing, this right here, that, and this. This is a ring stand. It holds all kinds of different things. First off, we can use to hold a ring. Okay? Rings are used to hold stuff too. But, first thing we're going to talk about is a burette clamp and a burette. Okay? So, burettes are used to hold a certain amount of liquid. Right now it's about 27 milliliters, 27.2 milliliters. We can take a thing like an Erlenmeyer flask or a beaker, put it underneath of the said burette, and then turn the knob on the burette. I'm going to grab a beaker that way. Have a bigger opening. Okay? Turn the knob. And then it dispenses out a certain amount of liquid. When you hit the liquid amount you want to stop, you stop it, and then you have transferred the exact number of milliliters that you want. Next thing, we're talking about things that can go on top of the ring. Okay? So, we could hold some wire gauze. Okay? Wire gauze. This is used for like your Bunsen burners. You put a Bunsen burner over here, and then you put like a beaker up top, and then you can heat the beaker on top of the Bunsen burner very efficiently. A different thing we could use is a wire triangle. Okay? So a wire triangle looks like this. Stick that on top. This is if you're going to heat something like an evaporating disc, or a crucible and lid. Set those in there. They sit pretty easily. Okay, you're going to heat these. Difference between an evaporating dish and a crucible and a lid. If you think about like evaporating, this is anything that's going to go from a solid or a liquid to a gas. Okay, if you heat to a gas, evaporating dish, crucible and lid. Most of the time you put something in here that's like solid, break it down into a powder, and then you would do that up there. Okay, so your powders would go in here that aren't going to evaporate. Just burn off your impurities. Anytime you're going to use something that burns off completely would be this, which is an evaporating dish. This is a crucible and lid. Okay, next set of things. This is a watch glass. Okay, a lot of times when you're done with the lab, you put your powder on here, whatever your substance you made on. You set this to the side, put it in your drawer or something. Most of the time, we will use it for chromatography. So chromatography is the separation of two liquids using what they're solvent in. So say you would have a solution down here and you don't know what it is, or you would know what this is. This is your solvent. So you put a piece of filter paper in there that have two different solutions on there that you don't know. You set this on top, and over time you'll see that the capillary action of that is going to pull the water or the solution up through it. It is going to separate the mixtures out, and you will know that one of them is more soluble in your solvent than other because it rises farther. Okay, next thing. This is a pipette, volumetric pipette. Okay, this is a bulb. So this you use by taking your bulb off, so it's like this. Let's see if I can do this. Squeezing your bulb, putting your bulb on top, then sticking it in the solution you want to draw up. Okay. I've released the bulb so you can see it rising. You get to where you want. Okay. You would take the bulb off, put your finger on top. It's hard to do this, I only have one hand. Okay, I got some, not a lot. You can see it there. And then you would transfer it to a different space, let your finger off, and then you would transfer it over. Last thing I'm going to show you is a scoopula. Okay, scopulas are used for any time you need to scoop out solids from something. So scopulas are most of the time used when you have, like, say, a bottle of something. So let's go up here. Let's go to sodium chloride. Sodium chloride's table salt. Okay, I would open this, or most of the time it's probably open for you. You're gonna stick your scoopula inside, draw out how much you want, and then you usually put it on a weighing scale. Okay, we do not take stuff out of the container and put it directly back into the container, especially after these have been used and not clean, because we will get issues where we have cross-contamination and some of those things can react with each other. We do not want that to happen. So that is this. Again, I will give you a paper exactly like this on your first day of school. It is going to go through everything. Okay, fuel tube, thistle tube, so on and so forth, Bunsen burner, beaker tongs, flasks, tongs, so on and so forth. It will go through everything on here. This will be on your quiz. I am literally going to take this, take pictures of this, white out the name of it, then give you it, and you need to let me know what that is. So, you'll have these first day of school.